What's up, guys? We are live. Teach Me Tuesday. I got a question for my property owners out there. Have you ever wondered how you can increase the value of your property? In this episode, we're going to give you some answers. We're going to show you how you can increase the value of your property. Again, my name is Wilmot Berry with the Berry Group, broker by eXp Realty. I have the wonderful team right above me. I'm going to let them introduce themselves.
Hey guys, LaShawn Abraham here, half of the Team Abraham duo. Definitely happy to tackle this topic. I'm here accompanied with my other half. Some may say sometimes he's my better half, Mr. Abraham.
Hey, I think that was a perfect introduction. Nothing else needed to be said.
Well, let's get right onto it. Let's get right into it. This is such a great topic because I feel like I'm pretty sure, Wilmot, you probably get asked this question a lot, being that you do list a lot of homes, you work with a lot of sellers as well. And sometimes people either want to try to maximize the value of their property, or even
Right.
sometimes, even if you're looking, you may be wondering, like, the same builder built this house, it's the same type floor plan. Why is this one, worth a little more or sold a little more? So let's kind of talk about like how to, like, when it comes to, let's break that, like, I guess dissect that question a little bit. When it comes to the value of a property, in your opinion, Wilma, what do you think goes into determining the value? Is that in the behind? Is that in the eye of the beholder, or is it true like certain things kind of make up the value of a property?
You bring up a good question because, like, it could be, it could be both two things. I'm gonna tell you why I say that. It could be, in the hands of the appraiser, appraised value, or
Mhm.
the market. Okay, what someone is willing to pay for a house. Okay,
hmm
so you got market value and appraised value. Okay, and I don't want to get into weeds and all of that.
I'm gonna write that down because maybe this would be a good topic for next time. Market value
Yeah,
versus appraised value, I like that.
absolutely. And just I'm gonna give you a little tidbit when it comes to that. When it comes to like market value, remember COVID, right? And people were paying 20,000, 50,000 above ask price, right? And
Mhm.
guess what? The appraiser still had to come out there. And the
Yes.
appraiser may say, well, I'm not appraising it for that because it's based off of the comps. It doesn't appraise for the value that is under contract. Okay, so the value that the appraiser gives is different from the value that the market may give.
hmm
Okay, so I want people to understand that there's a difference between what someone is willing to pay for that property, which is market value, and what the appraised value is. Okay.
I absolutely love that because
hmm
I never thought about it like that. Because a person may be willing to pay more or less depending on so many different circumstances, variables. Because you brought up a great point with COVID, right? COVID was this crazy pandemic that we had, which in return caused a high demand and buyers all flooding to the market to buy property when we didn't have as much inventory. So based on those circumstances, people were willing to pay more because either maybe they had a new life, and they needed more space, or their job was relocating, or their job was ending, or something happened which caused this frenzy, which then changed the market, which changed the requirements of what people would typically look for. So that's a really, really good point there. You
Yeah,
want
yeah,
to add anything there?
no, I was thinking in terms of like a lot of people purchase at a praise value, right? A lot of people purchase based on what they can afford, what they're approved for, and then you have small few. If I had to put a percentage, I would probably say maybe less than 20 to 15% of people who purchase homes can truly purchase, like, let's say there's a certain neighborhood, a prestigious neighborhood that you want to live in, that you've always desired to live in, and the homes aren't available in that area. But when one does become available, because it's such a prestigious area, you not just you want to live there, but a lot of people want to live there, and a home is on the market. Guess what? More than likely, that home is going to go for market value as opposed to appraised value. Probably because it's so little, so rare, or it's a hot commodity and
Mhm.
multiple people want it. And if you can afford, just to live in this prestigious area, that's an example of when people decide um, to go above what a home is appraised for, and
Right.
truly, get what they want uh,
Right.
in regards to market value.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean that's really good stuff. I mean, so back to the topic at hand. So when it comes to increasing the value, let's kind of give some people for the time period that we have here some, ideal practical tips or suggestions, strategies that they can utilize to help improve, the value of their home. So let's kick it off with number one, curb appeal. I
Oh
guess when it
yeah.
comes to landscaping, I honestly I didn't know how much landscaping costs. In my
Gee.
mind, I thought landscaping, grass is cut, got some grass, maybe some little flower plant or a tree, and that's landscaping. But Gavin and I built our last house. And so literally building a house from dirt, and
Yeah.
then even though it was new construction, once the builder was finished with the house, they only did basic landscaping. If you really
Mhm.
want, sometimes you admire, I know I speak for myself, I admire a nice, well landscaped property. They got all the nice edging and cute little bricks and bordering and stuff like that, and nice
Yeah.
palm trees. But that stuff is expensive. I
Right.
didn't know how expensive that stuff was. I mean, landscaping can cost 10 to 20 grand depending on how much you put into it, from fencing to just buying sod to mulch to all of that stuff. It really adds up.
Yeah. And it does add a good bit of value. Like you said, you admire that, right? So when you walk up to a property, before you even walk in the house, you see the elegance of the property. You see the prestige of the landscape and how what kind of grass they have. They don't just got regular grass, guys. They're just not centipede out there. They
Right.
got
Yeah.
Bermuda and all kinds of different types of grass that they put down to have a certain look. The mulch that they put down, whether it's mulch or lava rock, that stuff costs.
Mhm.
So people don't, that's, but it will add some value to the property. To if you want to, start from the outside and then work your way on the inside of the house.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, I mean, they also can do, just the whole outside maintenance itself, guys. I
right,
mean, pressure washing your house. So,
right,
seeing the difference between, beautiful brick or vinyl siding as opposed to some with, some mold, on the side or whatever. Go ahead and pressure wash that thing. That always gives, um, you know, it's more easier on the eye. More people would want to live there.
so just like you mentioned, like the maintenance, right? Like
Mhm.
maintenance, repair maintenance, guys. So let's talk about like repairs. You walk up to a house and you see like maybe some chip and paint on the fascia board, or some of the siding might be coming off a little bit or whatever. Guys, that's maintenance. That's stuff you're supposed to maintain on your property. So a lot of those things, buyers are going to walk up to a home, they're going to see that and it's like, man, what's going on right here, what's going on right there? you
Mhm.
know that maintenance does carry a long way, and also adds value, especially like replacing a roof, repairing a roof. I have a lot of appraisers call me and say, "Hey, when was the last time the roof was replaced?" That's something.
Mhm.
Even when they're dealing with your insurance, they're looking at, "Hey, how old is the roof?" So those are some great things that you
I like
can.
that. The only other thing I would add to that too, because just going on that same little checklist, same thing like with your HVAC system, getting
Mhm.
it tuned up. I know we did
Right,
that recently. Just having someone come and constantly service, the HVAC system and getting your plumbing and electrical always kind of reviewed on a,
right.
on a frequent basis to make sure you're keeping up to date with those things. So I think that's super important too.
Yeah, I
Um,
think a good tie-in to that is now, number two,
mhm.
upgrades on, kitchens, bathrooms, appliances, and then also as you're upgrading, making the home more energy efficient.
Mm,
So yeah, I mean, people love, you spend most of your time. Well, they say you spend most of your time in your bathroom, all right, kitchen, and in your bedroom, of course. But those things that really are eye catchers that a lot of people love, because you can decorate a bedroom however you want. Design, it's just typically a room. But when it comes to the bathrooms, the fixtures, the stove in the kitchen, the refrigerator with the technology, all that good stuff. Those things that really attract, someone's eyes. Yeah, upgrading your kitchen and your bathrooms are, I think, a key component into increasing the value of the home.
Right.
So
Well, so I have a question, and this may be a little bit debatable because I've had, especially like nowadays, a lot of people are coming back to do refinances, as depends on when they bought, especially if they bought anytime in 2023 or the beginning of 24. Rates have kind of came down just a little bit, so people are interested in refinancing. And so one of the big things that I get all the time when people go to refinance is they either have made upgrades to their bathroom or kitchen, and they think that let's say they spent 20 grand in the kitchen or bathroom, and they think that, oh, my house should be worth 20 grand more, 20 grand or more, but that's
Right.
not necessarily, it may be more appealing. I think sometimes, but sometimes it's not dollar for dollar if you have granite versus, quartz versus, some type of basic laminate flooring versus hardwood. What do you think, Wilmot?
It depends on the market. It really does. Like, it's times when that stuff really, adds a ton of value. But I also think it's times when it doesn't. Unfortunately, it doesn't always work out the same way all the time. If your homes in your neighborhood are sitting on the market and haven't been selling, prices are declining, and you're expecting like a huge appraisal from a refinance or a HELOC, then at that, you might be in for some disappointment. But if homes are really selling for top dollar in your area because of the market, I do think you're going to see a higher appraisal when it comes to that refinance or that HELOC that you're trying to do. So
yeah,
yeah.
and Sean, just again with the people is just making the assumption that, man, if I put this into the house, I should get this out. So yeah, putting that $20,000 into upgrading your kitchen, making yourself a chef's kitchen, the balance, the understanding of how an appraiser appraises a home. A kitchen at the end of the day is still a kitchen. It serves the purpose of you cooking and eating, whatever it may be. As long as that's a functioning place in the home, you upgrading to the $10,000 stove as opposed to having a $1,000 stove doesn't change the concept of what that stove does per se, and it doesn't add value to the home because it's not adding square footage, it's not adding a new room, it's not. So it's subjective in a sense, and it, unfortunately, guys, I wish it was black and white, but sometimes when it comes to an appraiser is a certified specialist who gives values to homes based on
their opinion.
Yeah.
Right.
And if they like your stove, they like your countertops, they may say, oh, you know what? Yeah, I value this more. And they have that right. That's how it's set up, unfortunately.
So let me give a tip though, Gavin. You absolutely right. I want you to before you spend so much money on certain upgrades, you really need to understand like your area, your neighborhood, okay, to maximize your return on investment. Okay, because if you go outside and you're in this neighborhood that home prices aren't that high in that neighborhood, but you go and spend a ton of money on something, you could be in for a rude awakening. Okay, so that's why it's always good to speak with a professional like a realtor. They kind of give you an idea, and guys, let me say this, it's free. Okay, we will be more than happy to do what we call a comparative market analysis for you, so you kind of know, hey, this is what my home value might be at. All right, and this is something that you can utilize before you get a refinance or a HELOC, just so you can have an idea on what upgrades might be the most bang for your buck. Okay, so
I really appreciate the fact that you said that, because a lot of times in our our space in the lending world, we may get people that want to challenge the appraisal, right? Because they have spent money to add all these upgrades and things like that to their home, but the
Mhm.
appraiser comes back and they pretty much say that they have over improved the home based
Mm.
on the market, the subdivision, the area, the location, and they can't find comps to support the valuation of these things that they have done. So that you said to me was just perfect, because people sometimes can go a little overboard when it
Yeah.
may not fit, their particular one. So before we run out of time, I can't believe we have 15 minutes already. It really goes by fast.
Yeah.
Let's give them a couple more little run through a few of these just to give people more ideas of what they can do to increase the value. We talked about the curb appeal, updating their kitchens and bathrooms, making it more energy efficient. Gavin, you kind of touched on adding more livable space, like increasing maybe square footage, adding a room, maybe closing a garage. Is there a couple more things, guys, that you think that's really important that people can do to increase their value?
Yeah, I mean the modernizing the interior. Don't have those lavish Gucci rooms or or
Gucci
whatever it
room.
may be. Keep it modern. Get those neutral colors that people can come in and decorate off of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, like you said, I always like I deal with a lot of investors, right? And my motto when it comes to my investors, when it comes to like flipping property or giving them property like a good refresh, is let's make the property solid first.
Mhm.
So maintenance stuff, let's do that first. Let's all the stuff that needs, let's get a home inspection, right? Let's look at the items that need to be done, right? You don't
Mhm.
want to do what some appraisers call put paint on a pig, you know? So, and because that could really mess up your appraisal. When an appraiser comes out there, they're not fooled. They look at houses on a regular basis. So, like, if you just go in and throw some paint here, throw some granite here, and it's gonna make my house appraise high. No, that's not how it works. So, if you can make the house solid first, and then after that, whatever's in the budget, I would say then add some upgrades, some painting here, some updates to your countertops or something like that to kind of make the house really get to its full potential.
Mhm.
So
That is
yeah.
some such good information. So, guys, that's our time for today. But like always, if you guys have any questions or any suggestions or any tips going into or any topics, better yet, going into 2025 that you'd like us to discuss, you can, search us all on all social media platforms. We're always here to answer questions, provide you guys with some great, 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 insightful information that can just help you be better, well-rounded, and better prepared to purchase in 2025, because we're almost winding down to our days where we can't squeeze any more in 24, but we can still get a couple more in, as long as you get under contract by the end of
Right.
the week.
Right.
So yeah. All right, guys, until next time, we'll see you guys next time.
Well, peace.